just a hack. It's just an absolute hack. And he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
We've got updated rankings now for week 13 for the college football playoff. Now, as I've always said on this, when I do these reactions, these rankings are going to change. They're going to completely change by the time the season is over, but we are getting progressively closer and closer, meaning how they currently sit is getting very reminiscent to how it eventually will turn out. So these become more and more important each and every week. There is not a lot of major movement that happened as a result of some of the things that went down this past weekend. The one big one is that Tennessee dropped from 5 to 10, which is justifiable. I would argue maybe they drop even further, or they should drop even further because of the quality of loss that is the one that they suffered to South Carolina. That is an argument, in my opinion, that is not necessarily. It's useless because Tennessee is not going to be in contention for the playoff anymore, and they're probably just going to be playing in a really big bowl game to a high upper level, slightly above average bowl game, depending on what ends up playing out. But my attention is completely drawn to the same things that I talked about last week. Now, things are going to shift regardless based on what happens this weekend between Ohio State and Michigan. We're going to have movement no matter what happens in that game. Someone is going to fall out of the top 5 because of that game. However, I am drawn to the ordering of TCU, LSU, and USC at 4, 5, and 6. TCU, in my opinion, is properly rated and placed at number 4 because they are undefeated. If we were able and willing to put Cincinnati in that spot last season, playing in a much weaker conference, then TCU deserves to be where they are at number 4. And if they win out, they will and should be in the playoff. Multiple ranked wins, and they're going to get another ranked win when they play Kansas State in the Big 12 championship game. But I am still irked by the placement of LSU at 5 over USC at 6 after USC just earned another ranked victory. Now they have 2 more opportunities to earn 2 more ranked victories as they play Notre Dame this weekend and then they play Oregon. I don't understand it. The philosophy to me does not make any sense to have a team with 2 losses ranked ahead against a team with 1 with not that far off of a resume in terms of ranked wins. Although the one thing I will say, it almost doesn't even matter because when LSU loses to Georgia, which in my opinion I think is very, very likely, they're going to drop out. This is a more of a look ahead. If LSU loses and they have 3 losses, it needs to be stated here. And LSU fans, please be realistic that they should not be in consideration for the playoff if they are a 3-loss SEC team and they do not win their conference. They should not be placed ahead of an undefeated TCU team. They should not be placed ahead of a 1-loss USC team just because they have those wins, against Alabama. That key win that they have against Alabama. Please take that into consideration. I know that they have multiple ranked wins. They lose a little bit of credit for that Ole Miss game based on the way that they played against Arkansas. So again, I must say this over and over again. USC needs to be over LSU, and it's going to happen eventually. But why they weren't moved up after beating UCLA is extremely frustrating to me. If you disagree with me, drop a comment below. Let me know where I might be wrong. Maybe if I admit, which actually, let's be real, you're all going to tell me that I'm wrong. All the LSU fans did this last week. You're going to do it again. Blah, blah, blah. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me you disagree. Whatever. Tell me anything that I might have missed. Because frankly, looking at these rankings, there's not a ton of movement, but I'm sure that everyone has thoughts. Drop them below. Hit that like button if you like tuning in. And also, if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll be back with more, and we're going to be going live on Sunday after the games.